What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gressel Special. I'm excited to be here, and today I'm joined by Tim Parker from the New York Red Bulls. What's up, Timmy? How you doing? Oh, I don't think I can hear you. Got some audio issues again. I think you got to try and refresh your the thing again. So we'll try and log in here. We'll have him come on in a second. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, we'll have Tim on. We'll talk a little bit about kind of his past, our college past together. I think we faced off a few times against each other, and obviously now we've played against each other a bunch as well. So we'll talk about that, and hopefully he can come on in a second here. In terms of updates from me, there he is.
All right, sorry about that. Is that good?
Good. No, there you go. Yeah, how's everything going, man?
Everything's good. I was saying that that intro is quite the intro you got there for yourself. A nice little
Yeah,
highlight reel.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Well, the two games that we've had so far.
I was going to say there's probably not too much to pick from yet, but hopefully there will be more for sure.
Yeah, I hope so too. But yeah, how are things? How are quarantine? I think you just came off the practice pitch, right? So how's training going with the team? You guys excited to be back?
Yeah, dude. I mean, we got back on Monday, so it's been good to kind of see guys from afar still, but yeah, it's good to get out back into the facility, like the training grounds, get back into a little bit of a routine of things because it's been so thrown off the last couple of weeks, obviously.
Yeah, same for us. I mean, we're super excited to get started again tomorrow. Finally, we just got approved. Got to go out to Virginia, and practice there, and then hopefully we can move things quick into small group sessions. And who knows, with this Orlando thing looming, we might start playing again very soon. But yeah, let's start talk a bit more about kind of you and your past. What I saw in high school when I did some research here, I saw in high school that you scored 25 goals and 8 assists. Had 8 assists too. That was not as a center back, was it? The audio is cut out again. Just gonna have to keep refreshing it until it finally works. Do you have headphones? Maybe that will work better. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody that's watching, first time. I'm a little bit nervous right now. Not gonna lie, um, but I think as he's refreshing, yeah, like I just said, I think we're finally approved to start training in an individual basis. So we're gonna go out to Loudon and do that at Segra Field. Finally excited to see some guys again and actually not have to do all the workouts by myself in a park here in DC. Oh, there it is.
Sheesh, man. I'm sorry about this.
No, you're good. No
Better
worries.
now?
Do you have headphones? Would that work? Do you have headphones with
No,
you?
I don't have them in my car. I don't have any in my
All right,
car.
that's fine. No, you're good. We'll
Yeah,
figure
man.
it out.
That was senior year of high school. I had quite the finishing touch that year. It hasn't really followed me through, but I'll take what
So
I
you
can
were
get out of it.
forward
It's
then,
in the
right?
stat.
You weren't a center back.
Yeah, that was in high school. It was just for fun, playing with my buddies, just for my town team. It was a lot of fun though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then obviously you went to St. John's, right? So I guess you got recruited to a really good school. So it wasn't just for fun, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the high school side of it was kind of more fun. The club side, obviously, was where I got recruited
Oh,
from.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they thought it was kind of funny, obviously, that I had 27 goals going into my freshman year of college. But yeah, and then obviously I stayed local and went to St. John's and had some success there. So it was quite the little entry.
Yeah. Did you always kind of want to stay in New York, or did you look at some other schools, or how did that kind of go?
Yeah, I think the whole college recruitment process is such it's such a fun little process to go through. I think you get to visit new places, meet new people, see where you want to kind of develop as a young man. And for me, I was in between a lot of Big East schools. I thought the Big East at the time when I was getting recruited was one of the better soccer conferences in the country, and There was a couple of schools. It was, for me mainly, it was between Villanova, Michigan, and St. John's. And when it came down to it, St. John's just had like a good pedigree of like producing defenders, and had a good history of winning championships. And then obviously the kind of the resume that Dave Mazur has as a coach was something that I wanted to learn from.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I came to Providence, and obviously the same conference as you. You guys were like the standard, right? Like you were always up there every year, always competing for championships, all that stuff. So we had some good battles against each other. I remember one, I think it was in 2013, where we had a really good year. We won the Big East that year, I think,
Yes.
and made a deep run in the NCAA tournament as well. But I remember actually we like got in like almost a fight
I
on the
think I was
field.
playing like, was I playing right back?
Yeah, either right or left back or something. Like I think it was more left-sided center back or something. And it was at Providence. I remember this goal. I scored a goal too, where I think we had gone back and forth a bit, talking a bit, some smack talk, and I think your goalie kind of gave the ball away really cheaply to me, and I kind of just like sniffed it out, and I scored the goal, and I like turned around and like said some words as I celebrated to you and the keeper that were just standing there. So I think I have the video somewhere, man. It was a funny little game. But
I,
man,
I
you guys were good, and you were obviously one of the better players in that conference at that time as well. That always about one of the just quality players.
yeah, man, I think it was a really good conference when you look back and you see a bunch of the pros that obviously came out of like our time of the Big East. Like there's myself, you, Keegan Rosenberry. There's a lot of guys that have
Yeah.
come out and have made like good names for themselves in MLS, and I think it's a credit to the conference and the schools in the conference and the competition that is there. But dude, if you have that video, I'd love to see how red I am, probably in rage of you just talking back at it.
I'm gonna have to ask my college coach to get it. You forgot your teammate Alex Mule. He made a good jump out of
Yeah,
Georgetown as well.
yeah.
Um,
Mule. I mean, dude, there's a lot of guys. I mean,
yeah,
I always talk.
cut out again, my friend.
Can you? Is it good or now?
There it is. Yeah, there it is again. All right.
Yeah, I think I always give a lot of stick to the ACC guys because they always have like that high pedigree, like easy kind of. They get all the credit and stuff, but us Big East guys, we got to grind for it.
That's true, but I think we made a pretty good name for ourselves, especially with most recent years too.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you got drafted in 2015, so you kind of left the league before, or at a time where I really started to look at MLS and started to look like what it would be like for me if I go that route, essentially, right? So you were a guy I followed. I mean, as soon as you got drafted, and I followed all along. And but let's talk about Vancouver. I mean, was that kind of did you envision yourself starting your pro career in Vancouver, or kind of what was that like at the draft? Because I remember for me, when I got drafted eighth, and the seventh pick was Vancouver, and I was like kind of deep down, I was like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I would be really excited to go to Vancouver right now and to start my career there. And you kind of did it. So how was that for you?
My senior year when I was at St. John's, of like all my friends are like, "Oh, you're gonna go to Vancouver," and it was kind of just a joke because it was like the furthest place I could possibly go. We thought that it was a freezing cold climate. But I ended up going there, and like the first thing my dad said to me was when they called my name, he goes, he obviously says congrats, and that's the single city that is the farthest city you could go to from New York. So I mean, obviously he was proud and everything, but he was also like just thinking in his head, he's like, I've been able to go to all your college games, and now you are going literally like as far as you could possibly go. But yeah, I mean, I've said this openly. I think my first couple of months in Vancouver were very tough because I wasn't used to the gray weather and the rainy weather. So the first couple months were tough, and I didn't love the city immediately, but definitely looking back on my time there and everything that I got to learn about the city and the people there, I do truly love Vancouver. It's in a great city.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be honest with you, that's kind of what I've heard
Yeah.
ever since I kind of came into the league as well, and I've talked to some guys that have played in Vancouver. But I feel you on the distance thing. I know my mom was like, I just don't want you to go anywhere on the West Coast because that's so far from Germany, even further than New York. Um, but I mean, you kind of made an impact right away. I think you played your first year, you played half a season, right, around 15 games or something. Had a couple games early on with the second team, but then kind of found your way into the first team, and then obviously had some really good 2 years there before you got traded to the Red Bulls. How was that trade? How did that happen? Did you want to go back to New York, or did you kind of just, yeah, kind of what was the feeling like during that time?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I got really lucky in Vancouver to like kind of fall into a place where there were center backs in front of me, but one of them being Pa Muduka, who was like on his way to retirement, was so willing to kind of teach me the ropes and kind of like really guide me. So when I got into my first season and started playing those games, he was basically like another coach to me at the time. So like a mentor in that kind of way. And then, yeah, like you said, like I had 2 good seasons there. And, it came to that point in time where you're going into the last year of your contract. And I mean,
Yeah, I
you
feel
want
you.
to,
Yeah,
you want to get paid, but you also want that security of being able to uh, lock in a contract for a couple of years. And for me, I wanted to sign a new deal with Vancouver, and things didn't go as planned. And then obviously that kind of led to my exit. And fortunately enough, New York was able to trade for me, and now I'm back in my home area, which is really cool.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like it's like a little match made in heaven, kind of, with you coming back to New York, and obviously getting your contract that you deserved as a top center back in the league. And I think you also had a couple stints with the national team, not too many appearances, I think, with the full team, but you made some camps. Or was that more once you got to New York? Did that kind of happen afterwards? I forget the research I did. I can't hear you again. Oh, there it is.
I
There it
got
is. There
called
it
in
is.
a
All right.
couple of
All right.
times under Jurgen when I was in Vancouver, but never got any games, like you said. And then when that first year in New York, when we were kind of uh, on a tear, I think I got called into a couple more
Yeah.
camps, and that's when I made my two caps. And then since then, I haven't been called back in ever since Greg took the job. But it's a grind. You gotta prove yourself every day, and that's kind of the goal of what I can do.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome. I mean, you said it yourself. I think you guys, when you came to New York, you guys were a force. Like, I mean, ever since really every year you play for supporter shields. Obviously, you wish probably that you played for more MLS Cups than you did. um, but yeah, I mean, you and Aaron Long. I mean, I think you're one of the top center back pairings in the league, right? You complement each other really well. And kind of what is it like to kind of play alongside him, and kind of what do you think his career path will be like? I mean, obviously he's a bit younger, so I know there's been some rumors about Europe, and then kind of his future.
Yeah, I think obviously when I first got here, I was so like, I mean, getting to Red Bull in general, I was kind of thrown into like a culture shock because of how we play. It's such a different style than what I was used to. So kind of when I got here, I was just thrown into the system and was like, look, you got to fully commit if you want to play, and like that's kind of the way we took it. And like you said, I think the playoffs could have gone a different way, would have made that first year a little bit sweeter. But yeah, I mean, playing with Aaron's awesome. I think we do complement each other really well. Um, he's obviously he's got a very good IQ for the game, and he's good on the ball. He's smart, and he's athletic. I think he's more athletic than he looks, which is obviously plays to his advantage because he's able to cover ground. He's strong. He's good in the air. And then yeah, I think we complement each other pretty well. I might be a little bit more of the bruiser type of the defensive front, but that's all right with me. I don't mind that. A little bit of an old school approach on my side, and then I'll let him do a little bit more of the prettier work. But yeah, I think it's you said, I think his career path has kind of taken such an uptake. You know, I think the last couple of years, winning Supporter Shield, MLS Defender of the Year, he's with the national team, getting games all the time. Obviously, Europe's knocking on his door. I think now to the timeline of things, but you know, I think his goal is to get over there as quick as he can, and I hope he does because I think he can prove himself well over there.
Yeah, I think so too. But let's get back to you. Obviously, what is like just to kind of finish this off? Do you have any specific goals in mind that you want to achieve during your soccer career? Obviously, I know New York hasn't won an MLS Cup. Is that something in there? Or I know the national team is always kind of on your mind as well, and with 2 caps under your belt already, I think it's obviously a goal maybe of yours to go back to. Kind of what is your future going to look like, you think, or you hope?
Yeah, you know, I think first and foremost, I hope that the MLS Cup is in my near future. You know, I think with Red Bull for sure, just because you know the supporters have been they've been thirsty for an MLS Cup. You know, Supporter Shield is enough for these guys here, so we gotta find a way to win them an MLS Cup. And then personally, you know, I think as my career goes on, I think being a consistent defender, and like I think that's for me. It doesn't always include accolades, but I think it would be great to, you know, get into an all-star game, win Defender of the Year. But I think those kind of things don't last as long as trophies do. So when you have trophies in your past, I think that can kind of carry you on through it all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm right there with you, to be honest, and I'm really
You already
glad
have
that
one. You already got one.
I know. Yeah, we beat you on your home field too. Celebrated on that New York Red Bull in New York, yeah, the Red Bull Arena. That was fun. Um, but all right, let's kind of leave the soccer side of it out a bit and kind of go a bit more into your personal life. I know you're a big dog lover, and you got Woody. There's a picture. Uh, I know you guys do a lot together. He even has his own Instagram page. How is it like living with him?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone knows bulldogs, they know they're stubborn, funky dogs. You know, so he keeps me company. He makes me laugh. He's easy. You know, I think for my lifestyle now, I mean, I can take him out on a couple walks a day. He sleeps mostly. He snores. He farts. He does all the bulldog stuff. So it's enjoyable to have him around for sure. His Instagram definitely plays a good part into tasting his personality. My girlfriend actually runs that, and she's very proud of it. So I'll give her the credit for that.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. Who had the idea to do the Instagram for him? My dog is laying next to me right here, Freddie. He's sleeping.
Yeah,
He's
I was gonna
tired.
say.
He like sleeps most of the time. But that's pretty awesome that you get to enjoy a little bit more time with him, obviously during this difficult time and this weird time, I guess, in general. But you know, what other hobbies you have? I know you've been texting me a bit about golf. I know you've gone to the Bethpage and played there a few times.
Yeah, man. I would say that in priority wise, I'd say Woody is obviously my first hobby. I think I do really enjoy spending time with him. By the way, Freddie would run circles around Woody. Woody doesn't move that fast, and he gets tired very quick. But yeah, I've been golfing. I picked up golf pretty a good amount when I was in Vancouver. They had a lot of courses out there, and we had obviously had a lot more time when I was out there just to kind of go and play. And now back home in quarantine, I've been playing quite a lot. You know, I think just the ability to get outside and go and do something. And my dad's actually retired, so kind of text him and see if he wants to go play golf. And it works out well that kind of me and my dad can go and do that together. And yeah, you mentioned Bethpage. It's like it's interesting because Bethpage is such like it's obviously hosted PGA Tour events, so it's a really nice course, and it's right next to my hometown, so it's kind of a little backyard gem.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I gotta make my way up there and play that course with you at one point. It's not too far from DC either, so maybe we can get out
But
there in the off
from what
season.
I've heard,
And
you'd smoke me though. From what I've heard, you'd smoke me.
yeah, but I'll give you some strokes, and then we'll make it an interesting match. Don't worry, we'll make it fun. All right, just to one more one more topic to wrap up. I know I've said we would talk about this a little bit, maybe talk about some homegrown versus college route. What do you think for homegrown players? Is it wise to rather sign that contract with a pro team, or is it more, or is it better for them to kind of go to college? Obviously, we're two successful guys that came out of college, so I feel like we know the answer for both of us. But kind of, what do you think? What do you think for some younger guys that are listening, or parents that are wanting to give advice?
Yeah, I've actually been a pretty big advocate for this, and I'm a little biased, obviously, because I never got the opportunity to play for an academy or anything like that. But I do think college is such a unique route, even if you have the opportunity to go for 1 or 2 years and then sign a homegrown deal, because it puts you out of your comfort zone for a bit. I think if you signing out of the academy at 17 or 16 years old, when you're that young, everything in the academy is familiar. So you know the staff, you know how things are going to work. You probably know the first team because you've trained with them a couple of times. Whereas college, it's like you're going into a locker room where you might know 3 or 4 guys, and you got to earn your respect of your seniors and stuff like that. So um, I do truly should get. And if it's not college, I do believe that getting out of your comfort zone in a little way and is something that could be huge. And as the American kind of process begins to develop and excel, I think more homegrown players are going to get signed at younger ages. But I think that one of the biggest things for clubs to do is to kind of loan those guys out to USL teams that aren't in market, and to get those guys out of comfort zones and get them away and see if they can really see if they can make it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I 100% agree with you. I think you just grow up within the first year or two. You just grow up, and you become so much more independent, and you really get an idea of what you need to be like to be successful. And I think that's why I'm also a big advocate for the college life, or for what you said, with kind of, if teams decide to sign homegrown players, to then get them out of their markets, and kind of letting them experience life and letting them live on their own, and then really grow up in a way to get them better prepared for what their career might be later on. But I mean, if you're so talented on 16 years old, or 17 years old, right when you come out of high school, I think even going to college for a year or two, I don't think it hurts. I think you'll get good coaching, sometimes even better coaching and more detailed coaching than what you would get out of a pro coach, that really only worries from week to week, um, about winning games. So in that sense, I think it's just a better way for yeah, kids in that moment to develop, and kind of just, yeah, take the next step that gets them prepared for then being a big part of a pro team. That's just my take. But I think, like I said, I think we're two college guys that have obviously had a tremendous success in college and then after college. So we've certainly been lucky in that sense, but I've also earned the way, and we've also worked hard for this. So um, yeah, that's kind of my take about it. All right. Well, that kind of does it for me. Is there anything else you wanted to add? I think your audio is cut out again.
Ugh.
Oh, there it is. Every time I say it, it comes back.
There we go. But yeah, I think it's a
All
good
right.
topic. I think that's going to be like kind of the future of the American sport and or the American soccer way. So it's going to come down to a crossroads, and it'll be interesting to see. It's all personal. I think looking at your past, I mean, you come all the way from Germany. It's a real. I mean, that's a real grow up process. You coming all the way across the pond to go to school, and you grind it out, and success follows that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. And obviously, I think you got to remember that the academies kind of play a big part as well, right? Of kind of how that whole situation develops. So we'll kind of just have to see kind of how it goes. But I don't think it's great for 16, or kind of what we both agree on, 16, 17-year-old kids to kind of stay in market and then all of a sudden just train with the first team, but never really get any minutes without, really developing much more. But we'll see how it goes. But again, for now, Tim, I appreciate you coming on. That was awesome. Always good talking to you. It's all right. I think the audio was fine in the end. Thanks for jumping on right after training. I really appreciate it too.
Having me on. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you guys are starting up tomorrow, and obviously I hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, man. Hope to beat you on the soccer field again. I don't know if I can beat you in the gym, but I'll beat you hopefully in the soccer field. Good to see you, my friend. Hope to see you soon, man.